Good day. Welcome into First Take on YouTube. I'm Molly Qerim. That's Stephen A. Smith. And there's some new champs in town. The Boston Celtics, completely dominant this postseason. In the first round, Boston trounced Miami 4-1 following a gentleman's sweep of the Cavs in round 2 and a 4-0 sweep of the Indiana Pacers. In the Eastern Conference Finals, Boston went 16-3 during their finals run. Epic. Kendrick Perkins weighed in on that run, saying the Celtics are set to have one of the greatest championship runs in NBA history. Let's put this into perspective, Stephen A. How impressive was this finals run?
I thought it was very, very impressive simply because you saw a collection of talent coming together. Obviously, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown leading the way. Two guys that's going to be making over $600 million once Jason Tatum gets his new deal, because not that they weren't going to give it to him anyway, but now that he's a champion, you ain't really got a choice. If you're the Boston Celtics, you don't take care of that man as well you should. But Derek White's not going anywhere. Drew Holiday's not going anywhere. Kristaps Porzingis is not going anywhere. And so you look at their starting five and you say, wow, they got a lot going on, returning 12 players and stuff like that. But here's what really stands out to me with the Boston Celtics. They have eradicated the notion that you need a big three. The big three has officially come to an end. Because when you see the supplementary parts that Coach Joe Mazzulla and Brad Stevens, the president of basketball operations, have assembled together, you don't need a big three. You need a big two with a lot of quality parts surrounding them. And that's what won. And I think that that's going to set the stage for a new era of professional basketball where the big three will be no more.
Absolutely. It's certainly fallen by the wayside. I want to do a little reflecting on these 2024 playoffs. So which team surprised you the most during this postseason run?
Wow. I would have to say that the Minnesota Timberwolves surprised me. What they did those first two rounds, the way they swept Phoenix, the way they amped up their defense and beat Denver in a 7-game series. They almost blew it, but keep in mind, they won games 1, 2, and 7 in Denver. You certainly didn't expect that coming from the Minnesota Timberwolves, but that's what they gave you. And of course, they got Ant-Man himself as well. And so I look at them and I would say that they were a huge, huge surprise. But obviously, Dallas is a 5th seed getting to the finals. They surprised me as well.
Dallas was super impressive. In Minnesota, a lot of people after that run had them going all the way, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Which team would you say was the biggest disappointment?
Wow.
And injuries obviously could play a factor.
Injuries play a role. So with the injuries, it's always the Clippers because it's Kawhi Leonard. He's always a disappointment because of his health. Nothing about his game, just his health. So that was clearly a disappointment. When I think about it, Milwaukee was somewhat of a disappointment. They had some injuries, but still in all, there was a lot of friction going on. You didn't expect that from the Milwaukee Bucks this year. That definitely comes to mind. But that's it. That's really it. I mean, when I think about the word disappointment, that's what it comes down to for me. By the way, the pleasant surprise, I said Minnesota. I want to add the Knicks to that as well, getting to the conference finals.
Incredible run
especially with all of those injuries.
Would you put the Suns in the disappointment category?
Yes, I would.
Yes, I would. You're talking about the big threes.
That was the biggest disappointment. I'm glad you reminded me of that. That was the biggest disappointment. For Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal to go out in the first round, 0-4, get swept, that's just embarrassing. As far as I'm concerned, and I think that Phoenix should exhaust themselves in trying to get rid of one of the big three and get some quality assets in return. You know, another quality player, a couple of quality draft picks for one of those guys, even if it means giving up Kevin Durant. Because the reality is that y'all ain't gonna win the championship anyway as presently constructed.
Which player do you feel like put the league on notice this postseason? Would you go with Ant-Man?
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question. It's definitely Ant-Man. I think that Ant-Man, there was Kobe-esque stuff. There was MJ-esque stuff that I saw from this brother. He's a high flyer. He's a Skywalker. He's got an NBA body. He's got a nice, beautiful fall-away jump shot that's only going to continue to improve. He's got a mouth. He's got the game that backs it up. He's marketable. He's a marquee. He's box office. Ant-Man has arrived. I think that he is a sensational talent. And even though there are players that you can point to because of their seasoning and experience that you can say is better, I would make the argument to you that there isn't a player in the NBA, considering all that Ant-Man encompasses, the box office appeal and stuff like that, not just his game. I don't know if there's a player in the game that I would want more. I would start a franchise with more than Ant-Man right now.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what your Knicks do next year. By the way, they made it to the semis, not the conference finals. I think we misspoke
Game 7
on
and
that.
semis, yep.
All right, thanks for watching. Be sure to watch First Take Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. on ESPN. Be sure to check out more exclusive First Take debates on YouTube.